of background. So my dad was a professional footballer, so I'm 58 now, and football has been my life since I basically was born. So my dad was a football player. He had to retire early from the game, went into coaching, managing, so I found myself going on different schools around the country, including Scotland. And then when I finished school, so finished comprehensive education in Scotland, I moved to Leicester, where I was an apprentice professional footballer for a couple of years. I then spent 4 years at Cardiff, 10 at Oxford, 2 years back at Cardiff, then I had 3 years on the coaching staff at Oxford. So my time there in 2003 was the end of my full-time professional career, and then I've been in non-league football ever since, in various different roles. So I was a player coach, player manager, player assistant manager, coach, manager. And I've had some really great experiences, some lovely stories. One of them involves the coach driving off and leaving me behind. And the coach driver saying, I've got to get back, I can't pick him up, so I've got to try and find a taxi to get to here, to get to there. And it was a funny old story. It wasn't quite funny at the time, but lots of fantastic experiences, but obviously with the good experiences comes sometimes the downsides, because when you sign up for football, the beauty of it is you can win a game and everyone smiles and they're happy. They really love the experience. You lose a game of football, it's not quite the same. But with football, you get the chance the next week to put it right. So put those smiles back on those people's faces. So you always get another opportunity. And in my time of managing, it's probably now nearly 700 or over 700 games, I've had some really good experiences. And I've had some experiences where it wasn't great. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you tried, the resilience you showed, you ended up not quite getting the results that you thought you could get. And then all managers get the sack. Now, I've been sacked a couple of times, but most managers are re-employed somewhere else. So what you have to do, for me, and I'm quite good at this, is reflect on your previous experience, because all of it wasn't bad. So when you get the sack, you're a failure. Well, you're not a failure, it just didn't quite work out at that time. So you look at the experience, you take the good bits, and then you go, right, what am I going to do better for the next time that I'm given the role of a manager of a football club? So I've sort of carried that with me throughout my career. And I've fallen on my feet here, I've been a couple of years here, and I've had really good experience the first year. Last year, I think, in my eyes, we didn't achieve enough. I thought we had a team capable of achieving a bit more. But again, you work in the summer and you think about how you can do things slightly differently to help the players on the pitch. And going back to the conversation you had with everybody here about trust and honesty, so that applies 100% to my job, because if the player doesn't trust me, I can't get the best out of him. If he thinks I doubt them, whatever that is, attitude, ability, fitness levels, commitment, they're not going to play their best for me. Primarily as well, if they don't trust me and I don't trust them, it makes it really difficult. And the honesty bit is, and I'll go on to this when I talk about recruitment, is over the summer, I've probably spoken to, on the phone or face to face, 40 different players, including some of my current clubs. And you get thrown a player's name and you have a conversation with him and you say, what can you do next week? You can, oh no, my granny's got a birthday. Oh, okay, yeah, how old is she? 93. I've got to go and see her. And then you find out they played for another team on the same night. That happens often. Okay, so my understanding of it is I'll give them one more chance. Okay, so I let them know I know they played, but I'll give them one more chance and then leave it to them. Because you can't keep chasing them. If you keep chasing them, you've come across as being a bit desperate, and also you're chasing somebody who doesn't really want to be with you anyway. Okay, so jobs. So manager is, in casual know about running an academy, a manager is just trying to make sure all the different components are in the right places at the right time. So we've got a game on Saturday, do they know where to go? So I'm working with sort of sometimes young people, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and put the squad out. Where is it, home or away? Home or So the away game, where is it? Okay, we're at the Superman on Saturday. How do I get there? Okay, postcode and so on and so on. So what you want is, you don't want players that are going to do that and ask you. You want players that go, yeah, okay, I'll see you Saturday. So I've got to be at halfway. See you Saturday, Gaff. Meet you there for the game and get ready for it. So you want independent people. So managing a group of people is one. So coach. So my coaching now has gone from running the entirety of a session to having one-to-one conversations with players. So you do coaching, don't you? Yeah. Okay, so a lot of my coaching is not necessarily with the football, it's a conversation about them in the team, the importance of them in the team, and the position they play in the team, and how I can help them with that position and their understanding of it. Okay, mentor. So I've got a lad called Lewis from Hartpury College, first time in an adult environment with a competitive football team, so 3 points at stake, and I've been asked to mentor him through the last year. So that was great, because I actually learned more from him than he probably learned from me, which was brilliant. Secretary, so we've got to get some forms in tonight, and we need 16 signatures on a registration form by tomorrow, and Sam, we currently have 4. Is that correct? So that's part of my job I need to brush up on, but we need some others. So physio as well. I've got some sort of physio qualification, level 3, and you can treat people so the physio doesn't turn up and somebody gets injured in training, you sort of take over that role as well. Scout. So we are playing a team called Newcastle Town from Staffordshire in the first round of the FA Cup on a week Saturday, the 3rd of August, and I went to watch them on Monday. So I drove up 2 hours, watched them play, drove back, left the house at 5:30 and get back at 12 o'clock. But it's just part of the role. It's something that I've done for the last 20 years. I probably travel less now to away games to watch teams than I used to, but you've got to just judge the importance of knowing the opposition. I had no idea about them. Spend an hour and a half watching them, and you do gain an understanding. Okay, and then in the modern game, when I was playing, there was no such thing as an analyst. So we always get the games recorded. He'll send the stuff to me. This is Lewis from Hartpury, and he'll go through it with me, and then I can pass it on to some of the players. I mean, in my day of playing, VHS. So we lose on a Saturday, come in on a Monday, everyone in my office, sat in the manager's office, big box TV, VHS, had to watch the whole game. There you go, lads, you were rubbish. Yeah, but we knew that anyway, we didn't have to watch the game. So that was our analysis in those days, it was that. So as well as all the ones I've mentioned, there's probably other things that I do as well. So if a young player just retired from football, maybe 33, 34, applies for a job and thinks, well, I'm going to be the manager of the team, okay, yeah, you might be, but you've got to prepare yourself for lots of different roles as well. And yeah, kit man. So tonight I've got to take all the kit, put it in the back of my car, drive it to the game on Saturday, put it back in my car and drive it to training on Tuesday. But it is what it is, it's part of the job, okay? And it probably keeps you grounded as well. So it's sometimes it's a nice thing, but on a wet, horrible day, and you've got a bag of kit in the back and it doesn't get back into the club until 3 days' time, and you jump in a car and okay, so but again, it's just part of it. And then when we go to the recruitment, is so you mentioned a lot of teams that host this somewhere else, didn't you? Can you just run them by me again?
Redditch,
yeah,
Malvern, Worcester, Stratford, Stourbridge, AFC Wolverinians. Is that it? Bromsgrove.
Okay.
That should be all of them.
So that list of clubs are our competitors, and a lot of those clubs are either playing at a high level, so we're at step 4, they're at step 3, or in Worcester City's case, pay way more money than we do. So as a football player, you want to play at the best level you can, and you want to get paid as much money as you can. And the money is, honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the monies that are involved in non-league football at grassroots. Not us, by the way, okay, not us. But we are competing against those, and since my time here, I found recruitment so difficult, because you get the instance of, yeah, okay, I'll come and train on Tuesday, and then you get the message, can't make it, I've got Granny's birthday, and that sort of thing. You get that often. And the reason they do it is because they want to keep you warm, but they're looking for something better. So if you get disappointed by the disappointment too much, you then lose a bit of drive to keep chasing, keep going after somebody else, trying to fill a hole. So recruitment here has been really, really difficult. So my network is my black book. So one of them is my black book. So people I've known for a long time. So they would be trusted colleagues. So if I phone somebody and said, I've been thrown this name, he played for you, what's he like? I expect an honest answer. Yeah, they're okay, but I don't think he's your type, or he doesn't work hard enough, loads of ability. So I expect an honest, trusted answer from them. So I can either go, okay, go with that, speak to the player not interested, or speak to the player and try and get them into training. Okay, ex-managers. So I've had experiences of an ex-manager of a different club who's been sacked, phoning me, telling me to take the best player of the team he's just been sacked from because he thinks he'll do really well for me. That's genuinely happened. Okay? And you know probably why he's doing that, because he's disappointed and still frustrated that he's lost the sack at that club. And once or twice it has actually happened that that player's come to us and done very well, and we've taken him in. Agents. So we're step 4. So we had the other night, 250, 300 people here? 247. Yeah, so we've got 250 people here watching a game of football at grassroots level, non-league pyramid, and some players are still represented at our level by agents. And the agents, most of them are pretty good. You do wonder why they still work with lads at our level, because they're not going to make money off them. So if they're, if they're working with lads at our level, I think they're pretty nice people, because they don't have to. They just want to try and help, and try and move them forwards in their non-league career. So agents sometimes will phone me and say, we've got this player available, and then I need to find out what he's like, because if you speak to the agent, he's the next Ronaldo or the next Messi. So you've got to try and find some sort of reasonable understanding of his ability levels and whether he can fit in with us. And then I'll speak to a player, and the player will say, speak to my agent. Okay? But I speak to the agent, and then he says, but ultimately it's the player's decision, so then go back to the player. So agents can be really helpful, and some of them have been. The odd one or two give probably agents a bad name, but generally they're okay. Players. So if I think I've got a good group, so I'm confident I've got the right group of people, as in they're going to work really hard, they're going to commit, and they want to win, they then want to have the best players they can around them. So sometimes you've got enough, other times you haven't. So the amount of times I get a message from a current player saying, my mate's just left so-and-so, can he come and train? Yeah, of course he can. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I had one situation at the previous club, Banbury, where this lad turned up and he just said, look, it's my mate, can he play? He played a pre-season game.
Apologies.
Yes, okay. Played a pre-season game, scored 2, didn't really run around much. We beat somebody 4-0. Spoke to him, said, okay, I think you're better than what I got, but I'm not sure you're going to play. He said, I'll take a risk on me, okay, fine. He ended up getting 25 goals in 30 games, and we sold him to somewhere else. So sometimes it can work out, sometimes it can't. Players are a really good source of recruitment. Chairman. So I don't know if we're aware, so our chairman's Jed, lovely fella. He messaged me on Tuesday, he said, Mike, there's a player wants to come and play for us tonight. Okay, gave me the number, phoned him, had a chat, turned up, absolutely brilliant, played centre half, right back, brilliant kid, brilliant player, he's agreed to sign. So my chairman for that period of time was my chief scout, got me a player in. So he's helped me with my recruitment. Social media, there are loads of different agency sites on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. And if you can keep your hand on the pulse, and you just can try and go to different clubs, you do find about so-and-so's left and so-and-so's come in, and well, if he's coming, he's not going to play, so he's going to drop out, and you try and get the contact numbers. And that's pretty much, recruitment is really tough. So I don't know about any of you actually have employees that work for you. But trying to get the right people in. I mean, I work in further education. We lose staff, the ridiculous amount of people that we lose. Most of the time, good people, really good people, good teachers, care about their students. We just lose them because the experience isn't what they get told it was going to be. So they get given the dream, but it's never quite the dream. Or they're not probably ready for it. It's not quite what they thought. So when I sit down with a player, I have to tell them how it's going to be. And then because I have to tell them, I then have to back it up. Because 2 weeks down the line, he'll come to me and go, Gaff, yeah, he said, you told me we were going to play football. We don't, we just kick it. I only signed for you because you were going to play football. So I have to, when I tell them, I have to follow it through. So I only tell them because you can tell people what they want to hear. Okay, for me it doesn't work. You have to be that. So if you need to tell somebody some bad news, okay, you can absolutely smother it in cotton wool, put it in a nice way, show some empathy, be really nice with it, but ultimately it's the truth. And then they have to take it away with them and deal with it. If you tell somebody, like I leave a player out, so great last week, did brilliant. Thanks, Gaff, but you're not playing today. Oh, okay, but don't worry, you play next week. Guess what happens? They'll repeat next week. Then how disappointed are you? So when you build up the expectation, play next week, so don't worry. And then I don't play him, the disappointment doubles. So in my eyes, you have to be really honest with people. And sometimes that does create a problem because you took that really well. Sometimes they don't, do they? They don't. They storm off. I had one, picked his bag up and off he went. But then you understand the people you're working with, and probably the one that picks the bag up and walks off isn't actually what you need. So I'm currently having a brilliant time here. I've had a brilliant 20 years in non-league football. I had a fantastic time as a full-time footballer. I am probably getting towards the end of my time as a manager. And the way I look at this job right now is if this is going to be my last job, probably an age thing, I've got no dramas with that, then I need to do it the way I want to do it. Because I need to stand for what I stand for, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does work out, brilliant, might get another job next year. So thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed that. Finished in time, Steve, have we?
Perfect.
If you're going home through town, don't, because it's traffic. Go somewhere else. But no, thank you for listening. I really enjoyed today as well, actually. It's been really enlightening. It's been very good. Thank you.